In the opening chapter of the Gospel of John, we encounter some of the most profound and poetic words in the New Testament, words that lay the groundwork for understanding who Jesus is and what he came to accomplish. Among these verses, John 1:7 stands out as a key statement about the role of John the Baptist and his mission. He came as a witness to testify concerning that light, so that through him all might believe. To fully appreciate the depth and significance of this verse, we must examine not only the immediate context, but also the broader spiritual and theological themes at work. The prologue to John's Gospel is unique among the four Gospels. While Matthew and Luke begin with genealogies and narratives about Jesus' birth, and Mark launches directly into Jesus' public ministry, John opens with a sweeping cosmic vision. He introduces Jesus as the eternal Word, who was with God in the beginning and who is, in fact, God. This Word is the source of all life and light. The language is intentionally grand, drawing the reader's attention to the universal significance of what is about to unfold. Amidst this soaring introduction, John pauses to introduce another figure, John the Baptist. The text is careful to clarify that John the Baptist is not the light himself, but rather a witness to the light. This distinction is crucial. In a time and culture where charismatic religious leaders often drew followers to themselves, the gospel writer wants to make it clear that John's purpose is not self-promotion. Instead, he is a signpost, pointing away from himself and toward another. John's entire mission is summed up in this: to testify concerning the light, so that through him all might believe. But what does it mean to testify concerning the light? And why is this testimony so important? First, the concept of light is loaded with meaning in biblical literature. Light represents truth, purity, revelation, and divine presence. From the opening words of Genesis, where God commands, "Let there be light," to the Psalms that declare, "The Lord is my light and my salvation," to the prophetic visions of a world illuminated by the glory of God, light has always symbolized God's action in dispelling darkness, whether literal or metaphorical. In John's Gospel, the light refers directly to Jesus, who brings the full revelation of God's character and purpose into the world. Yet, as John's prologue makes clear, the world is shrouded in darkness, ignorance, sin, and separation from God. Into this darkness comes the light, but the darkness does not understand or overcome it. In such a scenario, the role of a witness becomes indispensable. The witness stands at the threshold between darkness and light, between ignorance and revelation, and declares what he has seen and heard. John the Baptist, then, is introduced as the first great witness to the identity and mission of Jesus. He is sent by God, not self-appointed, with a divinely given task: to bear witness to the light. His testimony is not merely personal opinion or speculation, it is grounded in what he has been shown by God. As the narrative unfolds, we see John the Baptist repeatedly pointing away from himself and toward Jesus, declaring, "Behold the Lamb of God, who takes away the sin of the world." His entire life and ministry are oriented around this central mission. But why is this testimony necessary? The verse answers, "So that through him all might believe." The ultimate goal of John's ministry is not simply to inform, but to inspire faith. In the ancient world, as in our own, people are confronted with competing claims about truth and meaning. Testimony, especially trustworthy, first-hand testimony, serves as a bridge between doubt and belief. John stands as a credible witness whose life of integrity and devotion commands respect. Through his words and actions, he prepares the hearts of the people to recognize and receive the true light when he appears. There is also a profound humility in John the Baptist's role. Despite his popularity and the respect he commands, he never claims the spotlight for himself. He understands that his position as a witness is temporary and derivative. His greatness lies precisely in his willingness to step aside, so that the one to whom he testifies might be revealed in full glory. Later in the Gospel, John will famously say, "He must increase, but I must decrease." This humility and self-effacing dedication are models for all who would follow in his footsteps as witnesses to the light. The theme of witness does not end with John the Baptist. As the narrative progresses, others will join in this chorus of testimony. Jesus' disciples, the Samaritan woman at the well, the man born blind, and ultimately all who encounter the light for themselves. The role of witness becomes a key motif throughout the gospel, emphasizing the importance of personal encounter and proclamation. Faith is not a private possession, but a reality to be shared and declared, so that others too may come to believe. John 1:7 also invites reflection on the nature of belief itself. The purpose of the testimony is that all might believe. Belief in John's gospel is more than intellectual assent. It is trust, commitment, and transformation. To believe in the light is to step out of darkness, to accept the revelation God offers, and to be changed by it. The testimony of witnesses like John the Baptist serves as a catalyst for this transformative faith, opening the way for others to encounter the living Christ. There is a universal scope to the verse. The aim is that all might believe. The light is not reserved for a select few, nor is the invitation to faith limited by nationality, background, or past history. The gospel's vision is expansive, embracing all people, everywhere, who are willing to heed the testimony and respond in faith. John the Baptist's ministry, though rooted in the wilderness of Judea, has implications for the whole world. This verse also challenges contemporary readers to consider their own role as witnesses. While John the Baptist occupies a unique place in salvation history, the call to testify to the light extends to all who have encountered Jesus. The world remains a place of darkness, confusion, and longing for meaning. The task of bearing witness, through words and actions, through lives marked by truth and humility, remains as urgent as ever. To testify to the light is not merely to recite doctrines or repeat slogans. It is to embody the reality of the light in everyday life. It is to live with integrity, to speak with compassion, to act with justice, to point beyond oneself to the source of all hope and truth. In a world hungry for authenticity, the testimony of lives transformed by the light continues the mission begun by John the Baptist. Moreover, the verse reminds us that faith is both a gift and a response. The witness prepares the way, but each individual must choose whether to believe. The light shines, the testimony is given, but belief is not automatic. It involves a personal decision to trust and follow the light. This interplay between divine initiative and human response is a hallmark of the Gospel of John, and it is encapsulated in the mission of John the Baptist. John 1:7 then is far more than a historical note about an ancient prophet. It is a window into the heart of the gospel, a revelation of God's desire to be known, the means by which that knowledge is communicated, and the response that God seeks from His creation. It is an invitation to step out of darkness, to listen to the witness, to open one's heart to the light that shines in the world. As we reflect on this verse, several key themes emerge for deeper meditation. First, the humility of the true witness. John the Baptist's greatness lies not in self-assertion, but in self-effacement. He knows who he is, and more importantly, who he is not. He is content to play his part, however small, in the unfolding drama of salvation. This humility is a challenge to all who are tempted by pride or self-importance, reminding us that our highest calling is to direct attention away from ourselves and toward the one who is the true light. Second, the power of testimony. In a world that often prizes skepticism and doubt, the simple, honest witness of one who has encountered the light can be transformative. Testimony is not about winning arguments or dominating debates. It is about sharing what one has seen and heard, in the hope that others too may come to believe. Each person's story, however ordinary or extraordinary, has the potential to illuminate the path for someone else. Third, the universality of the invitation. The light shines for all, and the witness is given so that all might believe. There are no outsiders to the love of God, no boundaries to the reach of the light. This inclusive vision challenges any tendency to exclusivity or elitism in matters of faith, and it calls believers to a spirit of openness and welcome. Fourth, the centrality of belief. The goal of the testimony is not mere curiosity or admiration, but genuine faith, a faith that transforms, renews, and sustains. Belief, in the Johannine sense, is dynamic and relational. It involves entrusting oneself to the light, allowing it to dispel the darkness within, and living in the reality of God's presence. Finally, the enduring relevance of the witness. Though centuries have passed since John the Baptist stood on the banks of the Jordan, his voice echoes through the ages, calling each generation to recognize and respond to the light. The need for witnesses is as great today as it was then, and the opportunity to testify to the light remains open to all. In summary, John 1:7 encapsulates the mission of John the Baptist as the forerunner of Christ. He is the divinely appointed witness, sent to testify to the true light, Jesus, with the aim that all might believe. His role is marked by humility, clarity, and faithfulness. His testimony serves as a bridge between the darkness of the world and the light of Christ. The verse invites us to reflect on the nature of true witness, the power of testimony, the universality of God's invitation, and the transformative potential of belief. As we ponder these truths, we are reminded that the story is not merely about ancient figures, but about each of us. The light still shines, the darkness has not overcome it, and the invitation to believe remains open. May we, like John the Baptist, bear faithful witness to the light, so that others, too, may come to know and believe in the one who is the source of all life, hope, and truth.